Oft should one make an early meal, nor fasting come to the feast. Else he sits and chews as if he would choke, and little is able to ask.
Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and welcome to turn 33 of Aries, where we are playing the Well of Urd, God of Utgard. Let's jump into the turn! Okay, so, we got a bunch of reanimation casting over in Utgard. No big deal. Captured a couple blood slaves. Very nice. Fantastic. We have a bunch of little battles. And then we've got one big battle. So let's go ahead and check the little battles real quick. Another bit of not really raiding at this point, kind of just conquering. The big army has moved on to Waywoods, so that fort is now sieged and pretty much screwed. Ironwood Forest. Cool. And then we had a little battle in Greendale, where we attacked. Pinged. That's cool. And we have our big battle in Dofaros. So let's go ahead and watch this. All right, we're going to watch it from a macro point of view first, right? And then we will watch it from a micro point of view on a couple of things. So we've got our two big armies arrayed, right? We are slightly larger thanks to our undead. So we've kind of got this... I think this is kind of BS, right? So, like, the map knows how wide the map is, right? So, like, if you take a look at, like, the lines created, it knows how long the lines are. But it only lets you place in, like, this fucking section. Like, I want these cav to be on the wings. They should be down here, right? But I can't put them down there. The scripting won't let me. This is as far down as I could put them. And that's kind of ass, to be honest. Like, the battlefield itself is already not incredibly large, right? There's not a whole lot of, like, control and stipulations you can do. So the fact that you don't even get the entirety of the battlefield is annoying. But that's just a random complaint. Anyways, so we've got our basically our massive force of gaudy huskarls. We've got a bunch of undead, some of it designed to attack the wings. We got a little contingent of flyers. They're gonna die. No big deal. Our important sections, though. We've got the Communion. We've got Thorvaldi and Fjalar, right? Set up and ready to go. Thorvaldi has the coral sword and a water bracelet. And then we've got 9 Seaths and 3 Nornas in here. So that's a big deal. And then we've got our little attack rear, Air Force One Norna 25, I think. Yeah, Norna or Seath 25, buffing up Gunloth for a assassination mission. Okay, and then we've got his army of Gittites, all the Gibbers and Levites, right? His force of mages. And his crossbows, okay? So we know what they tend to do. Let's watch this from a macro level. Alright. So, the communion goes up, all the blessings and the swarm casters go up. The griffins, which in hindsight I realize I probably should have... I think, are wyverns undisciplined? I think if wyverns are disciplined, that would be probably would have been a better use. So, our undead horsemen should have been further back, because they basically just rush forward and they get collapsed on and destroyed. They don't do very much. We have our wind guide come out, so our javelins are extra spicy. Everyone has about 16 precision, which is pretty cool, right? We've got our Howl Up. Gunloth just went up into the air, right? He comes down over here. He starts doing work. Howl is doing work. We got a bunch of swarms coming out. We're starting to look like we're producing decent quantities of undead. And Gunloth is wreaking havoc in the back here. He gets bonzed for a second, so he can't move. But he's going to start ping-ponging around. So he ping-pongs over into their crossbows now. And we've just got so many gaudy Huskarls over on the side, and the wolves keep reinforcing things. So we're pushing more and more. The swarm is actually helping quite a bit too, because there's just so many more bodies for them to kill. They don't have great attack density. Neither do we, truth be told. But previously they had swarm, and we hadn't been using swarm. So now that we've added swarm into the mix, we've got a lot more attack density, and that's helpful. Gunloth is still killing the crap out of people in the back, which is awesome. And we're getting pretty close to the... Look at these wolves. They're doing work. These Abbas, though, they're all ethereal. So only, like, the wolves can't really do anything. Gunloth is the one who has to try to do stuff. And the army is broken. So the Gittites are routing. The Gibbers are going to hang around for just a second longer, but not much. The Abbas start to move, and we start to cut them down as they run. We have victory. Cool. All right, fantastic. So that's pretty awesome. Gunloth goes, and he starts... Unfortunately, he gets lost in the weeds, and he's killing Gittites here. And then he starts killing some Levites, etc. Right? And so a bunch of these, like, commanders get out, basically. Which is unfortunate. Well, I guess we'll just speed through. He gets a bunch of kills at the end. That's good. Fantastic. Alright, cool. So let's take a look at that from, again, still macro, right? We sent in 304 to his 284. We lost 162 to his 143. So he actually lost fewer combatants than we did, right? But he lost way more mages. You may notice that we lost 2 Nornas. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I am going to talk about it. But he lost a whole bunch of mages, right? And he lost large contingents of his forces, right? But we lost mostly all of our undead, right? We lost a fair chunk of our javelinists, and I didn't realize that we actually had a whole bunch of bondies in here. Apparently I started recruiting these on accident. My bad. But we actually did not lose very many of our gaudy Huskarls. We mostly lost everything else. So that's actually really good. Because our gaudy Huskarls are by far our best combatants out of this mix. Right? We didn't lose any mages outside of the 2 Nornas. Again, I don't want to talk about it, but I am going to talk about it. So this is a costly win, right? But this is a win, right? This is definitely a victory both in what we've killed and what we've lost versus everything else. With the exception of the Nornas, basically. So let's watch the battle again, and let's address the Norna question immediately. So we'll focus on we'll do this a couple different times, we'll focus on a couple different things, but we're just gonna speed through real quick. Okay, so the community comes up, right? And we get our first couple things. We get anti-magic comes up, and then Gift of the or Light of the Northern Star comes up, Howl comes up. Okay, and then so we have Norna 5 and Norna 2 are on magic duel duty, okay? So we're going to watch this. We're going to pause as soon as we see magic duel, and dead. So Norna 5 dies on the first magic duel, and we're going to go check. Magic duel is this purple beam, right? Not only does she die, but it is not a tie, so she does not kill her opponent. So, bummer. Okay. Statistically unfavorable. Okay. Norna 2's got me though, right? 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 Magic duel! Hey, she's alive! And she zapped a Sybil over here. Okay, cool, cool. Gotcha. Keep going, Norna 2. And... Magic Duel dead. And she dueled the first one, the one that Norna 5 died to. And lost again, right? So out of 6 scripted magic duels, right? Look, was it a risky play? Absolutely it was a risky play. But the only reason I took it is because it was statistically favorable. Jesus. This is horrendously bad luck. Like, I expected to lose one of the Nornas, right? If I got to cast all 6 of the magic duels, I expected I might lose both of them if I was unlucky, right? Because 6 of the magic duels, you know, if I got to cast all 6 of them, that means I would have had to win 4 ahead. And that's about good numbers there, right? I say good numbers. That's very good numbers, right? So getting to cast all 6 was unlikely. But having one of my Nornas die and the other survive was entirely possible. Absolutely possible. Actually, relatively probable, right? It's 3 astral versus 1 astral. It's like... So that was just really bad luck. So basically, those 2 Nornas killed themselves. They died for nothing. The 2 of them took out 1 Sybil. So I just spent... I think the Sybils are 85 gold. The Nornas are 210. So I spent 420 gold trying to take out 85 gold. Which is crap, right? That's absolute crap. And here's another thing. You get no information, right? So we got the magic duel on the screen. We can swap over to very detailed battle log. I'm not gonna... Okay, so it's not there. I was hoping it would stay there if we swapped, but apparently it's too much information. The magic duel, you get no information for the magic duel. At least I don't think. Let me actually replay this, because if we actually get to see the rolls, I would be pretty interested in that. See the battle. What am I doing? I keep clicking. I'm so hyped. So hyped. Okay. I know it's not in unit overview. That does nothing. Anti-magic goes up. Okay. I'm gonna slow down. Magic duel. Okay, so you get no information. We have no idea what Norna 5 rolled. Did she roll a 1 and this freaking Sybil rolled a 6? Right? Like, that's annoying. Give me information. There's no reason. Why would you not have this information? You know? Anyways, okay. So Norna 2 and Norna 5, we made a statistical gamble with them, and we lost horribly. So we are down 2 Nornas, which sucks. Let's watch again. This time we're going to focus on Gunloth. We're going to actually watch what he does. So, keep in mind... Okay, he's got 20 cold resistance. So we've got Mist Form, Liquid Body, Communion Master goes off. All good. We've got Body Ethereal, Quicken Self, Wind Guide goes off. All good. The Howl goes off. Protection goes off. And hits... Way the fuck over here? Okay. Whatever. Fine. So he does not get protection. Gift of Flight goes off and hits here. Regeneration goes off and hits here. This is what confuses me, right? Because this Seath targets this square with every other cast, but not the protection for some reason. I guess it's because she determined, like, he already had 9 protection, so it wasn't worthwhile to just buff him. But this guy has 0 protection, so why not buff him? Gift of Flight goes off again. I don't know who it hit. I didn't track it down. Cheat Fate goes off. Summon Air Elemental goes off. And then Gunloth casts Resist Fire instead of Breath of Winter. I hate when the scripting doesn't cast what you tell it to cast. I don't care if I made an error. I don't care if it's illogical to you. I don't care. Cast what I told you to cast. I have a limited number of scripts. Cast what I told you to cast. Come on, man. So now he has Resist Fire instead of Breath of Winter. It really doesn't matter, I guess, in the long run, but it is annoying. It's frustrating. And then Seath Kona 25 casts Healing Light, which is weird. But she didn't have anything else to cast, so it's no big deal. Gunloth goes off. I'm gonna hold here for just a second because I want you guys to see. And again, this is a complaint at the casting AI, right? Because the casting AI, the defense for the casting AI being the way that it is well, if you do something. If you cast something that you shouldn't be casting, the casting AI is there to help you out, to prevent you from reapplying effects that don't matter, or, you know, wasting your cast, or wasting your gems, or what have you. Okay, great. Ray's dead. Oh, I forgot. He's okay. Well, we'll watch Gunloth in a second. We're gonna watch Air Force One real quick. Ray Skeletons, because he's super exhausted after the cast of the Air Elemental. And we've got a 25's up back here just doing work. Raising dead repeatedly when she should be casting Horde of Skeletons instead of Raise Dead. My life. Brighton. Okay, whatever. And he should be about ready. And what does he do? Really? Really? Is there anyone on the freaking map that has a ranged weapon that hasn't already used it? So this is the casting AI going, what could we cast that is beneficial to everyone and hasn't already been cast, so it wouldn't be a wasted overlap of a cast and fatigue and gems? Well, let's recast Wind Guide. This is why it pisses me off about the scripting AI. It's because it'll still do dumb shit like this, right? But it won't let me Breath of Winter when I want to. That's horseshit. That's absolutely horseshit. Okay. Done with complaints. Back to the battle. We're going to watch Gunloth take off. So we'll zip through all this, and then we'll actually watch what he goes and does. And whoop. All right, so we know he comes down right over here. Whop, and he insta-gibs a fucking an insect, whatever. But he comes over here and he immediately starts to tear into this guy, this Gittite commander, who actually has a bunch of nature gems and helmet of heroes, which is pretty cool, you know. And that's actually interesting because that means the units that he had, I think, just lost the inspirational buff. Then he gets bonds to fire by this Kohen. And this is kind of annoying to me, right? Because he's supposed to have a threat range where he just, like, he should be able to just walk here and kill this guy, and then kill this guy, and then no one should be close enough, because it's supposed to be like a one-tile threat range. No one should be close enough at that point, and then he should fly. But instead, he just flies. Okay. Fine. And he flies up into the crossbows, which is okay. He does kill a bunch of them. You know. And the wolves come back here and they start doing work. They killed the Sybil back here. They're going to kill these Kohens. That's a bag of wine down. This one doesn't have anything in particular, but, you know, still. So now he comes back in, and now he's hitting commanders again, which is what I want, right? I want this guy assassinating commanders and mages, basically. And so we get the route of the crossbows, and he's basically gonna just man fight these Gittites until they die. And now they're dead. And now, again, right, like, this guy, well, that guy's kind of closer in range, so he should probably just turn and attack that guy. But instead, he flies. And he starts flying. I get it. He's on attack rear. I get that. But that seems weird to me. Like, he starts flying in weird scenarios. And I don't know why he's getting entangled. Also, so... does he land on this guy? Wait, no, so again, right, like, the attack rear command kind of falls apart because instead of landing on this guy, he landed way the fuck over here, right? Like, okay. The threat range scenario on the fly is weird, but Gunloth did his job. He slaughtered the crap out of those people, killed the crap out of everything. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. Okay, so great, good job, Gunloth. We're gonna jump in and we're gonna take a look at macro or micro look at the communion now. So, how does our communion work? We've got Fjalar and Thorvaldi as slaves. They slave up. Everyone does their buffs, which is great. But what we really want to see is we want to see the effectiveness of the communion, right? So we've got a bunch of body ethereal that come out, and then we've got a bunch of swarm that comes out. And so Norna 3 is going to swarm a number of times more. And now we've got nether bolts kind of flying. And you can actually see, like, where these nether bolts hit when they're on target. Because half the time they're not on target. They delete people. So they delete my own people. I actually think I got a fair chunk of friendly fire from the nether darts, but you know. And then they almost immediately switch over to, like, once the scripting is done, they pretty much switch over to body ethereal spam, horde of skeleton spam, raised dead spam. There's a bit of panic in there still from Norna 3. I don't know why that's such a favorable spell to the Nornas. It's happening with some of the Seaths. Oh, our little plan of spamming enlarge actually did work on Fjalar and Thorvaldi. They both got hit with enlarge. So Thorvaldi is regenerating a shit ton of HP because he has 77 HP and 30% regeneration, which is fantastic. Okay. So from there, the communion does pretty good, actually. We're going to speed up just a little bit. Again, horde of skeleton spam, body ethereal spam, still a fair chunk of panic. And this is, again, going to be why I'm going to try to rush up Thaumaturgy as much as I can. Because I feel like if I can give them Soul Slay or Paralyzed, they'll stop using panic. Because it's driving me fucking crazy. It is so incredibly infuriating to watch them cast a spell that does basically nothing. Like, I watched this battle maybe, I don't know, 10 times. I watched the Utgard battle probably 2 to 3 hours worth, counting things. I've seen Panic rout one person. It's insanely infuriating to watch them just waste their time. We get a couple of healing lights here or there, which is kind of interesting, but mostly we get a bunch of raised dead, a little bit of horde of skeletons. We get a steady stream of undead, and we get a steady stream of body ethereal, which is pretty good. And this happens pretty much the entirety of the battle. Thorvaldi and... Crap, I'm not clicking him. And Fiolar never actually hit the point to where they are in danger of dying from their wounds, right? They do cap at 200 fatigue and then consistently take damage. Our Seath Konas just now are starting to hit that 100 fatigue mark, right? Where they're having to like wait a turn and then tick down and then cast again, wait a turn, tick down, cast again, etc. And afterwards, right, you can see how much undead we actually have on the field, and it's a fair chunk. Like they did a fairly good job. Honestly, like the communion performed admirably. So that's it. That's basically the battle in macro and micro. I went way over this because honestly, it's the only thing that happened in this turn. So, tax event, damaged walls in Waywoods and in Copperwoods, and we have some patrolling in Ulm. So we're gonna take a look at again the different fronts: Ulm front, Defaros front, and really, those two fronts are about to combine. So, we did move our units at Ulm onto Ulm in a patrolling fashion, just in case Ulm themselves actually attacked. They did not. So now we're going to pull back. We're not going to patrol anymore because Gath did move a unit down here, the unit that he was sieging Copper Woods with. So this is besieged by probably... nothing, not very much. 9 units large. And here's the thing. So he's besieging Waywoods with his 230 large army. That's gonna crack pretty quickly. But he can't do anything here, right? He can't do anything about Defaros right now. So we're migrating. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But I think one of the only options I have for staying in this game is to combine this army and this... I say army, but really what I mean is all of these Seaths, and especially these two Scrotty. Because if I can have a 4-person communion, right? A 4 Scrotty communion, and I can add more Seaths to it. Oh buddy. That is threatening. That is threatening no matter who you are, right? That's an issue to deal with. So we've consolidated the army. We're pulling everything in. We're mostly sticking with the same tune. We still have Norna 3 set up to do Howl in case. We're gonna have to see how that actually works out. We are moving on to Ironwood Forest. I assume there's the chance that he tries to consolidate, right? That he tries to bring all of these units back onto Defaros. If we get into a big fight again, this might be the end of us. So we will just have to see. But it is what it is. Like I can't really do much else. I guess here there's a couple things I can do. Let me alchemize some nature gems. I need one. Actually, I'm just gonna alchemize all of them. Do I have a scout? I don't have a scout nearby. That's unfortunate. Okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna give her 6. She's on conservative, so hopefully she won't fucking disobey like sometimes the AI does anyways, and fucking god, that's gonna piss me off. So she's on that. Where is Seath 25? I actually changed her to protection, but let's pop her back to personal regeneration. We're gonna stick with the same song and dance. Give her a single one. And then we're going to actually probably just put these on another Seath. It doesn't matter who. Seath 2. Let's go check and make sure she doesn't have... Yep, conservative gem casting. Do not use those. Okay, so let's make sure everyone is moving. Let's actually load him up with all of our gems. He's on conservative, so it shouldn't matter. Yep. Okie dokie. So we're just gonna try to move and do what we can. You know what? I don't know why I'm so antsy about this, but I'm really antsy about losing my gems, about not having enough gems to cast Howl with. I'm not using my earth gems. I might use my water gems. I'm not using my fire gems. I will alchemize my earth and fire gems, and I will put those into nature for now. And again, I'll put another 3 on Norna, and we'll spread the others out slightly, so that we don't run the risk of not having gems to cast Howl. Because Howl absolutely made a very big difference there. It killed a number of their units in the back, but it also just provides additional chaff. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like the game-ending spell that it used to be, right? But it definitely helped. So we're gonna use it until it no longer is effective. So we're moving. The Olmish front is the Dafaros front. We're moving Dafaros to Ulm. We're attacking at Ironwood Forest. We could have just moved to Kutakar, but I think I don't know, honestly. It might be a smarter move to move to Kutakar. The thing about moving to Kutakar is it makes it extremely predictable about whether I move to Nirn or, because I'm not going to move into Tapanete, right? But if I move into Ironwood Forest, I can then move into Nirn or Copper Woods or somewhere else, My issue is I don't know that Copper Woods is going to have enough supplies. And I did not get any bags of wine or anything. So, that is an issue. Also, we're going to put some slaves over here to make sure that we have enough. And that's pretty much it. Researching up here. Our research goal, like I said, is we're trying to get into thaumaturgy. Our research is abysmal now. We're trying to get into Thaumaturgy 4 and more specifically 5 so that we can have things like Paralyze and Soul Slay, which are infinitely more useful than Panic. And I'm hoping if we have higher level Thaumaturgy options that they can cast, they will default to something besides Panic. That is the hope, right? And Soul Slay will actually be able to do with our Seaths once we have a 4-man scrawny slave team. If we ever get there, right? That's the concept. We're gonna put 1 point of defense there on Dafaros. And that's it. That's the turn. That's really all we can do. We have so little left. And there is such a low possibility of us actually, but there was a pretty low possibility of us winning that battle, right? The world is going to need to do something about Gath. Gath already was very large. They had a very good expansion, right? But now taking my lands are flush. Well, I mean, they were pretty flush. If Gath is allowed to take my stuff, and then if they turn to Ulm, right? If there's not some legitimately like they're liberating Ulm and they actually like eat Ulm, they're just gonna wrap the world. Like I don't know. Something has to be done. But I don't know what's gonna be done, and I don't think it's gonna be by me. So I'm gonna try to make it to Ulm, and I'm gonna try to hide out in Ulm. I'm gonna try to have an extremely nasty communion to deal with, right? And we're gonna try to just keep reinforcing it with more Sithkonas until we can't, because we're basically running out of money, which is not gonna take long. We're very close to that, actually. So that's the plan. All right. I'm Jack and Jaw at this point. I'm gonna send a message out to Atlantis, describing the situation to them. Just won a pretty big fight, but I'm still basically pushed out of my lands. I'm going to try to migrate to Ulm and hold out there. Good luck. Just letting them know what's going on. And then we're going to send a message out to everyone. And I'm not going to start screaming to the top of my lungs yet. Because, like, if they don't know, if they don't have scouting networks, then okay, they don't have scouting networks. And I've already told all of them what the situation is. None of them seem like they're moving on Gath. No one aside from Ulm is really replying to me. So good fucking luck, y'all. Alright, so we've been trying to like prophetize the well appearing for the last 2 rounds. I think this is probably going to be the last time we try, and then that'll be it. Alright, not a whole lot going on this turn, so sorry for making it take such a long time. But I found that battle very interesting, and even though like I complain about all of the different like things that the AI does, or the scripting, or the battle grid, etc., right? I still love this game. It's still an amazing game, right? I'm still upset about Utgard. I'm still upset about that battle, but I'm still playing Dominions 5 because it's awesome. I just need a Dominion 6 to fix some of the shit that I have a problem with. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, that is it for me. I will see you all next time.